Hey, what's going on, guys? So today we're looking at a FirstEdge knife. I'm not really sure what direction to take this video because there's a couple things I want to focus on. First of all, whatever happened to FirstEdge? I've only seen a couple knives from this company, made in America, really interesting designs, but they like fell off the face of the planet. You don't see these knives in stock anywhere. When you do, you should probably pick them up if you have any interest because they're just hard to find. It's a brand that most of you guys probably never even heard of, unless of course you're really into the knife scene. Maybe you have one or two, or maybe at least heard of it before. But more than not, you probably haven't heard of it. This is not, Spyderco or Benchmade or CRKT or Kershaw. This is a very small niche company that kind of came and went. So, and the other thing too is I don't even know what era this knife is from. I've had this knife for probably 2 years. I don't know if this knife came out in the late 90s, in the 2000s, in the 2010s. I really have no idea when this thing was produced. All I know is that I was offered it in a trade. I never heard of the company before. Once I got it, I fell in love with it. I thought it was really cool. Started looking up their other models and found that they didn't have that many different knives. They had a couple folders, a couple fixed blades. This one is, I guess, automatic. That's going to be up to you to decide. That's the other part that I want to kind of focus on in this video is how unique this this knife system is, I guess you can call it, this mechanism. All right, so yeah, it's kind of a two-parter. First off, whatever happened to FirstEdge? If you guys have any insider information you can share with everyone, love to hear it. But anyway, here's a knife. So here's the box, FirstEdge Knives and Tools. Here's a knife. And of course, very helpful paperwork as well. Give some information about this knife. So yeah, so this is the 1450 or 1455. I want to say the 1455 had the combo edge. This one has the plain edge, and the lock slash like automatic system here is called the Tracklock. All right. So first, let's take a look at this, and then we'll take a look at the paperwork if need be. So here's the knife. Super interesting looking knife on top. Very weird, almost unfinished thing going on here. So you see there's a button on top. All right, looks like an automatic button, but when you push it in, nothing happens. Okay, that's strange. Then you see there's like a cutout here for something. You're like, okay, what goes there? It almost looks like something fell off the knife. All right, and obviously this whole area on this G10 scale is cut out, right? So it just seems very odd. However, how you use this knife is you're pushing down, okay, like you're pushing that way down and then this way down, okay? So basically, if you come in on this button on a 45-degree angle, like this, it shoots open. So and it's locked. There's no blade play. Very cool. Now all of a sudden there are buttons down here, like a little magic show. Went from there to there. All right, so then to unlock this, again, you're going up on like a 45-degree angle. You don't want to just push down, nothing happens. So you have to push on an angle in. Okay, then you could close the knife, and as you close the knife, you can see that it pops back up top and locks. All right, super cool auto, super easy to use. Once you get the hang of it, I mean, when I first got this, it was like an enigma. When I did the trade, like I said, I never heard of the company before. I saw a picture of the knife, I'm like, oh, it looks interesting. I didn't even ask how it worked. I just said, all right, yeah, sure. And I don't even remember what I traded for. And when I got it, I was like really perplexed as to how this thing worked. And as soon as I figured it out, I totally fell in love with it. I have no idea if the lanyard comes with the knife like stock or not. Someone may have added this on. I don't really know, but I just left it on there. But it is a really cool auto. So again, now here's the thing. Technically, it's not an automatic knife because you're not pushing a button. Okay, if you try to push this button, nothing happens. So I guess it's technically an assisted knife. You know, is that how you guys would see it? I mean, I don't know. You'd have to talk to a lawyer on this one. But I would say it's more of an assisted knife because you're assisting that. Now, once you push this in, you could feel right here it grabs. Okay, it grabs on the spring and then shoots open. Yeah, it's kind of tricky. Assisted slash auto, don't really know. I mean, I almost want to say it's an automatic, but again, by definition, automatic knife is something that you have to either push a switch or a lever in which it engages the blade via a spring, right? or, you know, I'm paraphrasing, I don't know the exact definition in front of me. But assisted knives are basically when you are using some kind of mechanism or pushing the blade itself to assist it open. So I don't know. You'd have to have a very good lawyer to sit down and really explain this one. But I suppose it's more of an assisted knife than automatic. But I have to say it's the closest possible thing to an automatic if it's not considered an automatic. But just really, really interesting mechanism there. Never seen anything quite like this at all. It's called the Tracklock. Super, super unique. All right, so pop that open. We can see our blade here is made out of Elmax, which is fantastic for edge retention. All right, we have a Tanto blade. I want to say they made a couple of these knives. I've seen them manual, where you don't have this same track system, but you have basically just the bottom here, which would unlock. All right, so you'd unlock it, I guess, I mean, originally the button would be, like, you don't see any of this stuff. It's kind of just like the pivot there, and then a little, you know, button here, which almost looks kind of like an axis lock a little bit. So I'm assuming you would push down on that and then manually flip it open, or open it like that, and then you'd have to depress it to unlock it. I don't see this exact model anywhere for sale. You know, if you guys happen to run across it, I'd say grab it. Grab it as soon as you can. It's very, very unique. All right, super, super cool though. Very, very comfortable in the hand. All right, it's kind of a little bit of a wider knife. All right, you see how it flares up towards the bottom. There's like that little bit of a wave thing, right? So it goes down, dips up, or excuse me, has like kind of a hump in the middle, dips back down. So there's no real finger trolls or anything, but super, super comfortable. There's no jimping on the back at all, but there's a clear thumb shelf where your thumb's supposed to land. But it is very, very comfortable to hold and use. All right, only use this one, maybe just a couple times just to play around with it. Never got into hard use or anything. But I think you could totally handle it if you happen to like the design and own one. So let's look at this paperwork here a little bit more. All right, put the knife off to the side. Again, a 1450 or 1455 Tracklock folding knife. All right, it says new Tracklock locking system, patent pending, Elmax stainless steel with G10 handles. All right, yeah, okay, so the 1455 is the combo edge. That's all the difference is between the models. So this one is the 1450. And then, of course, let me zoom in. Do some details here. All right, so it kind of shows how that works. First Tracklock folding locking system. Oh, well, their paperwork says fully automatic. So I guess that defines it, fully automatic. But again, could be very questionable in the court system. If you happen to get caught with one or something, you're not supposed to have automatic knives. I guess you have a pretty decent argument that it's assisted, but I don't know. Again, a good lawyer might help. So it says, designed together with U.S. Special Forces and Naval Special Warfare, FirstEdge Pro range folding knives are equipped with a new patent-pending opening and locking system designed for military and outdoor extreme applications and environments, the Tracklock. It has a large steel locking pin that passes through the blade, as well as the stainless steel liners. Many times the industrial standard for the knife lock failure has been applied to this double shear, in quotes, mechanism with no sign of movement or lock failure. The Tracklock allows for automatic and safe one-handed opening and closing of folding knife blades. Utilizing the Tracklock system, the 1450 has a unique internal mechanism that automatically opens the blade. All right, and then again, it shows you how to open and close it. So, let's try this one-handed, which I generally will do this. I'll push up on the lock and use my other hand, but they're saying, you know, you can obviously do it one-handed if you need to. So, yeah, there you go. So you can pop it open, and then you have to kind of choke up the knife a little bit so you can push forward and then bring it in with your finger. So it is one hand operable. So yeah, that's it's really, really cool. It's very, very unique. I was excited to make this video to show the mechanism, because you guys know I absolutely love unique knife mechanisms. It's just cool to see things that are different, things that you don't normally see. It's just a real shame that these aren't very available. I know a lot of people are going to watch this video and they're going to go, cool, I want one. We're going to get one. I have no idea. I really have no idea whatsoever. Again, all the major dealers that I happen to use, none of them have in stock. Some dealers show these knives, but of course out of stock. Like BladeHQ, sometimes when there's older knife models that they've had on their website and they sell out, even if the company goes out of business, they leave those on the website kind of like reference material, so you can go back and see what the specs were, things like that. Sometimes they'll show the original price. It gives you an idea of maybe their value. Originally, these sold for $125. What are they worth now? Couldn't tell you. I have no idea. The other thing too is because it might be considered an automatic knife, it might be hard to find on eBay. You know, so your best bet is probably from other collectors, people who just happen to own them. Maybe get really lucky, find on Craigslist or something one day. Knife forums. I mean, obviously with social media, there's knife pages everywhere. I mentioned this before too, because a lot of people ask me like, oh, where do you do your trading and stuff? Well, I do my trading all across social media, and I'm very, very fortunate in that a lot of people come to me. But if you don't have obviously the same scenario, which most people don't, you have to go out and search for different places that people are doing knife trades and sales and buying them and stuff. Facebook has a lot of knife related pages. You have to use a little bit of lingo there, because I think technically you're not supposed to sell knives and, you know, through Facebook, but if you start reading, you'll understand what people do. I don't happen to use like Reddit, but I know there's like Reddit pages where people are buying and selling and trading knives and stuff, but you just gotta do your homework a little bit. Again, anywhere there's people, i.e. social media, they're selling things, including knives. So it's not like impossible, but this is definitely one of the ones that is going to be a little bit hard to find because it's kind of abstract. It's a knife that, or a knife company that not a lot of people even are aware of, let alone own them. So you'd have to just, you know, be lucky enough to run into the right person that owns one. But I think it's really, really cool. It's a knife I plan to always have. Again, not only is it, you know, very rare, but it falls into my unique knife locking mechanism. So I wanted to share this with you on video. Again, just reference material. Who knows, maybe one day someone is offered one in a trade and they're like, eh, what is this knife? They go to look it up and they see this video and they go, ah, pretty cool. It's rare, it's different. It's very, very effective. It's a very, very usable knife. It's very, very comfortable. Just really cool. Again, I like things that are different. Now, of course, this one you can see there are some rub marks on the G10. Overall, it has a little bit of an unfinished look just because of the mechanism and everything here. I think if they went with like, I don't know, carbon fiber or something, it would have came out better looking than just the G10. Or even if they like polished up the G10 here a little bit, but you know, it is what it is what the company decided to do. And it works. It definitely works. It's a very unique system. It's just, it's like a little peekaboo. There it is. Hey, there it is down the bottom. It's like whack-a-mole, you know? As you're closing it, where's it going? It's going on a track, all right, and popping up the top. So obviously as you're closing it, it's going underneath the scale, looping around, coming up here, and then popping upwards to lock in place. So what's interesting, there's no locking there's no lock for the lock, essentially. So you're not going to easily accidentally hit this, okay? Again, you have to come in down on a 45-degree angle to hit that in the pocket, and because the scale, zoom in again, because the scale, it sits flush here, it'd be unique and rare for something to come in and hit that. I just don't see it happening in the pocket. Of course, this is, or does have a pocket clip, all right? So it's tip up, right side carry. Very nice pocket clip, very long, very you know, flexible spring steel. So it's gonna be easy to use, easy to carry. It's a fairly smooth scale. There's a little bit of texture on the G10, but it's not gonna rip up your pocket or anything. I did carry this one day. But yeah, just super, super unique. So I wanted to share it with you. The FirstEdge. I just don't know what happened to the company. So again, if you guys have information on it, I'd love to hear it, because these are really interesting knives. Also, because the company may not be around any, like if a company is absolved, I forget what technical term that is. When a company goes out of business and is no longer a company, do all their patents fall off? I don't really know. I don't know any of the legal stuff there, because if the company is no more, I would love to see someone replicate this design. Just the locking mechanism, you don't even have to keep the design of the knife. I mean, the design is very nice. It is very comfortable and everything. But I just love to see that mechanism basically reborn, you know, so other people can start enjoying it. Maybe even on a cheap knife, you know, make a $20 knife, cheap steel, cheap handle, but just an interesting mechanism, you know. So anyway, that's all for now. Just want to share the knife with you. If you've ever heard of FirstEdge, let me know in the comment section. If you have this knife by any chance, let me know what you think of yours, but I absolutely love mine. I think it's really unique, something special. So hopefully you guys have a wonderful day, and I will see you tomorrow with a brand new video. Take care.